Continuing, I trust that you had a meaningful time with the Lord earlier. And we continue with an introduction to the book of Job and an overview of the book of Job. So you should have your notes, downloaded your notes with you. Introduction to the book of Job and an overview of the book of Job. This one. So we'll do as we have done before. I'll read some of the sections and you read some of the sections. So I'll do first who wrote the book of Job. Suggestions include the following: Job himself, Moses, Solomon, Hezekiah, Ezra. Favoring a Solomonic authorship are these factors. Solomon was the author of much of the other wisdom literature, and he had a great knowledge of and love for nature and science, which abounds in Job. Barnes argues for the authorship by Job himself because of arguments favoring a patriarchal age and the foreign cast of the work, Arabic words, nomadic habits, illustrations from sandy plains and deserts, awareness of nature and arts, etc. He adds the suggestion that Moses could have written the concluding sentence in the book about Job's age and death. When was it written? How would you like to read that one? So it runs from patriarchal age to second century, but actually it's now impossible to hold a late post-exilic date because of the discovery of the fragments of Job among the Dead Sea Scrolls when it was written in a Paleo-Hebrew script. Would you continue and read One Cannot Rule Out? So even Solomonic authorship is quite strong, actually, from the suggested evidence here that are given by Zuck. So what is the purpose of the book? Well, the main purpose of the book is to show that the proper relationship between God and man is based solely on the sovereign grace of God and man's submissive faith response. There are other secondary purposes that help explain or expand this statement. A second purpose is to show how God uses adversity as well as prosperity to lead his people to maturity. A related purpose is to show God's great sovereignty over Satan and how he can use the devil's worst attacks for his own purposes and his people's good. So that's basically the purpose. And how about the reasons why we should study the book of Job? How about you read that one, number 3? So I think my interest would be, I'd like to know why even good people suffer and how should I counsel someone in pain. So let's look also at the unique contributions of the book of Job. The book of Job is filled with the greatness of God. Think of chapters 38, 39. The book is an answer to why the righteous suffer. The book gives the reader a rare look at actions around God's throne, the spiritual warfare, the conflicts beyond the heavenlies. Job introduces the reader to man's great enemy, the devil. Job's attitude in conclusion in the final chapter should lead the reader to reject compensation or assumption theology. One can find a Christology in the book of Job. And in terms of the literary style, it's a composite of a lawsuit a controversy, a dialogue, and a lament. So there are interesting things. There will be interesting things that we will discover and we can discover as we read through the book of Job, at least for the text that you will be translating or assigned to you to work on. Like Job 1, 28, and then 38. Let's look now at the overview of the book of Job, what happens in the chapters. So you should have this before you. I'll just briefly go through this. So we have 3 cycles at least for his friends, his 3 friends. So the first round is chapter 4, 1 to 14. Chapter 4, 4 to 14. And then second round is 15 to 21. And then third round, 22 to 31. Then we have Elihu's speeches, God's speeches, and then Job's repentance and deliverance. Of course, we have your 1 to 3 word. That's the basically where we get to know more about Job, what happened, what are his losses, what are his pains, and how he responded first when confronted with these tests and trials in his life. But in the end, God was victorious and Job was vindicated. So this is just a brief overview of the book of Job, and I trust that you'll discover something even as you work on the chapters assigned to you. So enjoy and God bless.